I never thought I had an occupation. I have a sort of obsession. This moment is being brought to your attention. I just feel there's something magical of what's going on now. The gift I'm giving back at this age is really rewarded because I have an incredible story to tell. I've been meeting this person who I haven't seen. He used to be a friend of mine, and that person is me. And I'm going through, and this process I'm going through with you is still finding myself at this point. I bought a new Canon camera, and I wanted to test it out. I have an incredible collection of found objects, things that have the potential of being art when they're pieces of junk. And I wanted to get a composite still life that shows, that category that I'm interested in. I had a wonderful wooden, it was my only wooden mask I had, one of my favorites, and it was the devil, and it was bright red. I lit a candle in front of it and stuck it in a support. Had tickets for a jazz concert. My friends were outside blowing the horn, and I immediately got up and ran away. You forgot to blow the candle out, and then your house is on fire, wouldn't it be? When I got there, I was devastated. It was like a scene in hell. Well, I did take my camera out and photograph that hell. I've come out of a very difficult psychological moment. But sometimes something difficult happens, and maybe it was meant to happen, and in the long run, it's for the best. The irony, I have to laugh at it, it was my first picture that I took with the candle lit before I left. Let me see what that picture looks like. It's up front and center as one of my favorite pictures. So I joke about it and saying the whole mess was worthy because I got a good picture. I was born in 1925. It was a coincidence. It was the first year that 35mm camera, it would be like another digital age. From then on, you were wide open to use a camera like you were a real photographer, that they didn't need a large, clumsy camera. You didn't have to be indoors. You were going outdoors. It wasn't until the later 30s that I bought this little tiny thing called the Baby Brownie. But it was the smallest, littlest camera. It was a Kodak. But there was a thing called the 1939 World's Fair. It was a wonderful moment. People who didn't have cameras and never used them went to the fair, and I was one of them. I got the pictures back. They were pretty awful, but it did open the door. We moved to Washington Heights, New York, which is upper Manhattan. Something called the George Washington Bridge was being finished, and it was right across the street. The bridge just was an incredible experience. We were there for the fireworks, to walk across the bridge and whatnot. We had 7 movie houses within a mile of each other. We lived in apartment houses, and it was like the opposite. Like you were at Versailles in France and whatnot. I saw my first movie, 4 or 5 years old or whatnot. I was so enchanted and in a state of wonder. It was called The Jazz Singer. So you were going into dreamland. And then the extra dividend is that when we moved there, the A train and the subway system opened with a nickel and go downtown to the Museum of Natural History. New York was within our reach. So we would go to the Metropolitan Museum, with sketch pads, and we would be sketching this, the statuary. Of course, they were all nude women, and we were in our teens. This is in the category of being a New Yorker. You had such access to the world of art that it was almost natural. So within just this small, what you call a miracle mile, and all these things were building up, that whatever I saw, it was getting into my blood, you know, in the neighborhood. I was always a juggler. When I had my design office, I never came to in the city on 45th Street. I never came to work without the camera on my shoulder. I would go to my meetings presenting my designs, and I always had my camera with me. So I was working, earning a living, and at the same time falling in love with New York. I mean, I was a native New Yorker. I was finally becoming one who's blowing his horn about that. But as I went along, I was getting messages from what I was seeing and what I was doing, that you took something, and I see it joining with another picture that I already took. It could have been minutes ago, it could have been years ago, that I was getting the message that break the restriction of just one picture. It went into an area called multiples. And in New York, the whole place is multiplies all the time. I've lived with this sort of other personality I am when I'm using the camera. You're dealing with something that is my food, it's my appetite, it's what I take to survive. I have an inventory inside me that I want to share, and until I express it, I'm not feeling complete. It's almost ironic, getting to my age, the time I'm in, that I found a tool that helps me get to my goal faster. First of all, there's a different feeling now more than ever. I feel so in control of a medium that I've worked with all my life. Sometimes it's something right around my property, or even sitting and looking at my room. I find found objects. It could be food, it could be anything that comes by my daily schedule. And within minutes or an hour or so, the thought, the idea, I have a beautiful print of. using the computer to print out and control the quality and the values of the colors and whatever. We're living in a world that's a world of flux. Nothing stays the same. The light is changing all the time. The wind could be blowing. You could have it cold with in the same spot, and it's full of ice. Then it's full of flowers. All that was opened up because of the tools I have, the new cameras they have and whatnot, allow you to keep going, rat-tat-tat. To see, are you going in the right direction? And sometimes when I was dealing the old-fashioned way, I spent hours and days putting things together, and they really didn't work. You can view what you're taking immediately, and don't take it if it doesn't view properly. What I'm really being rewarded, at this point in my life, I'm still going full speed. I'm working away, taking chances with different territories and technology and whatnot. You see, it's an instinct. So we all have different instincts. The way I get ideas and the way I pursue them, I call it a state of wonder. And there's so many things in life that are a matter of chance. And I'm just lucky, because when I photograph, I am looking for that moment when, by chance, you got a work of art if you click fast enough. And looking at the picture triggers immediately and experiencing what I did. That's the magic of the camera, that it reinforces time. I couldn't imagine going through life without recording this journey. And the fact is, the rewards I get, you inspire me. Your work inspires me. So I get into the category of helping people. And within my family, they've all picked up my genes. And just to hear, Grandpa, you've really helped me, that's enough, And you won't know about this at your tender ages. It's about, what do you do when you retire? It becomes a real problem. Well, I don't have that problem because I know I'm busy all the time on constructive, creative goals. I just feel there's something magical of what's going on now. I just hope that I've done some good. I've helped you with the stories of my being a very young person and how I have accomplished what I want, and if it rubs off on you, I know the picture is complete then. Okay, thank you for clapping.